J'den, we started the show. You started the show, and we didn't even start the show yet, man.
I was just putting out some things I was recognizing. That's all.
No, they're great. They're amazing. It's just we got to make sure that we save all this gold for when the cameras are rolling, man. Um, yeah, there are some things. Okay, so do you want to just go ahead and bring that part up? Let's do that first, okay? Because or does it not really make sense if someone hasn't seen it?
I don't think it makes sense. And plus, I think with how the video goes, because I watched the matches,
Okay.
we'll have time to really
Okay.
discuss that while it's
Okay.
rolling.
Okay. That makes sense. But let's just put it this way, and I do want to kind of touch on this because it's really interesting to me, and I want your thoughts on it anyway. Um, the discrepancy that you and I were just talking about before the cameras were rolling was a scoring discrepancy, and it had to do with step outs and things like that. And we'll get to that obviously. But UWW this past week sent out an email saying that they have partnered with a technology company to have a virtual scorer. Have you heard anything
Okay.
about this?
I haven't. So you're speaking,
Hmm.
something new to me.
I'm
I
gonna
have never
try
heard
and,
of it.
have you heard anything about virtual scoring at all? Like computer programs that are able
Oh,
to
yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah. I just hadn't heard it for the sport of wrestling.
Okay. Would you trust them in one of your matches?
Honestly, well, honestly, no. I would say no. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Why?
And I think and also it's hard because I'm leaning towards I wouldn't slash like it wouldn't really matter because in the sport of wrestling and what we in sport of wrestling you're betting on yourself, right? I bet on myself.
Of
That's
course.
what you're doing. You train to bet on yourself, so it shouldn't matter either way. Um, but at the same time, it's like maybe that's one more thing to be taken away from possible, I guess, human error or a decision, one less
Or
decision or focus that a ref has to use. But
okay, I'm gonna
for
I'm gonna
me,
read the email real quick. I'm gonna just and maybe this will change your mind because I again I'm not that smart. I just like I have and I say that like I know what I know. I know wrestling. I don't
right.
know computer programs. I don't like I know what I know, and I understand that I shouldn't deviate. Where I don't know as much. So, United World Wrestling has selected Slowmo.tv as a technology partner for video refereeing for all matches. For the last 2 years, UWW has been cooperating with Slowmo TV on implementing a video refereeing on implementation of video refereeing at international competitions. To date, the system has been deployed at more than 20 world competitions and will be used for the Olympic cycle through 2024. After making the decision, blah, 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 while looking for solutions to increase the fairness of refereeing during international events, United World Wrestling found Slow-Mo TV to be the ideal solution, increasing the number of camera angles gave our referees. So this might not be like a scoring algorithm type program. This might be,
Like a review,
and
like a
yeah, it might be just adding to the review.
I think that's fine. I
So,
think that'd be great for sure.
yeah. Okay. I just want to make
Like
sure
it
because,
has to be.
yeah, it's coming though, right? Like, that, like, manless scoring is coming. Like, it has to.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like and this is one of the things where we talk about not being smart enough. And one of the things, like, I don't know enough about that to know how it
Mhm.
work, how it would operate. But more than likely, yeah, like it would come along. But I think but like I think as far as this goes, like the review goes, more angles, being able to see more of the match, I can't, that I'm actually on board with.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
Especially with some positions look vastly different from one side as they do to another. Um,
That's true.
and I think that this is something that will help our sport tremendously. And and in the midst of things, I think like what we worry about so much about changing the sport. I mean, like, but it's just like if you do what you got to do, and typically, and for the most part, the guys who are competing and getting ready to go are the guys that are going to compete and wrestle and win and go out there and do what they have to do. There hasn't been, and I'm just saying that because there haven't been many matches with top notch. At least like that I can think of. Majority of the matches I've seen with top notch competition have not come down to review. You know, when you think about David Taylor, yes, Donnie,
Not
it's come down
anymore.
to,
Not anymore.
you know what
Right?
I mean? Like,
Um, 2008, maybe 2012. That cycle, I would argue that it did, but I think that they're taking a
for sure.
lot of that out of the equation now. So that's probably a really good thing. And I don't know. I think the, the 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 sooner we know more about this stuff, the better. So we can start implementing. Like, let's just try it out at like kiddie tournaments. Why not? Like, you're gathering a bigger sample size. Like,
Right.
you're the stakes are very low. Like, no one cares. I mean, that's not true. Moms and dads care too much, but like, no, they do. They go crazy. But I guess what I'm saying is like the do we really need to try it out, the World Championships, the Olympics? Maybe we beta test a little bit earlier on some 9-year-olds or something.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Does it say that like who's looking at this video though? Like, because I think that plays a
Well, that's
factor. And like, you know
it's
what I mean?
all
Like, is
very
it someone?
vague. I don't know, man. I still don't know exactly what slow mo TV does. Like, so it just says that they partnered with them, and that's it. I still don't know exactly what slow mo TV does. So
Hmm.
it's like I guess you have to kind of do your own research here,
I was about to say
in
I
that
meant to do my
regard.
own homework.
Yeah, but no, it's important though, right? Because like, hey, if this is gonna be a thing for the quad, and I think I really like the leadership now. I really do. I think Nenad Lalovic is has done a lot more good than he has done bad, like a lot more. So
Hmm.
if we kind of just if we're building on good things into the sport, I think this is going to be a good thing. I don't know exactly what it is yet, and then the jury is definitely still out. But if I can follow a trend line, then I
Hmm.
would say this is probably a good thing. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, for sure. Like now, because now hearing about it, like I'm gonna look into it, so it'll be very interesting. Because now I have 1,000 questions, but if I ask 1,000 questions, we're never gonna get to these. We're never gonna get
Right.
to
Okay.
to
All right.
this
Yeah.
part.
Then you know what? Let's go. Ilan, let's play the first day. We're watching JB. We're watching Kyle Dake. Holy smokes, man! They were on FRL, and we talked about it. You and I both agree. Yeah, the crap talking's awesome, but the wrestling is so much better than the crap talking. Like, these guys are absolutely incredible athletes. Okay, pause it right there because I got a question for J'den Cox about this particular situation. Did you expect Kyle Dake to come out swinging like this and take JB down in the first 30 seconds?
Honestly, at this point in time, no, I did not. I didn't expect it, but I wasn't necessarily surprised by it because I think in 2017 they actually had a really great showing throughout the tournament. So it's not like shocking, but like definitely something was like no, because no one does that to JB. No one comes out and
That's
says
what
like,
I'm
"Hey,
talking
I'm gonna take JB
about.
down." Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
no,
Exactly. Oh,
I
yeah. Okay. All right. Let it run there, Elon.
it's weird he wanted to take the foot out though.
What do you mean?
So if you rewind, Dake takes and what he does a good job of, and because he had it so close to being shelf when the foot was on the inside. He had it so close to being shelf, and then and obviously he could, JB's playing defense, so and he does a great job of keeping his elbow up high and keeping it tight. The only thing here, this trip, it could have been a lot more effective. He could have gotten this takedown earlier had his back foot been a little bit more in. He could have committed to this trip a little bit more. And also, because
Little.
when you have guys like JB, he's athletic. He's gonna move. So if he could close the distance with his hips a little bit more, that trip is gonna be very effective, especially with JB in the air like that.
You think he could have gotten 4 on that?
For sure. I think
Yeah.
if his foot is literally just to that, you see where the tape line is, maybe even to the tape line, I
Yeah.
think he could have gotten 4.
Yeah. I would tend to agree with you. Um, but so to me, it's this. Okay. I think if you're Kyle Dake and I'm sorry that this keeps on doing this. My fault. Golly, man. Um, it's just I don't know how to turn it off. It's like without turning everything off. So I'm just gonna, you know what? Deal with it. This is our quarantine life. Golly. All right. I think if you're Kyle Dake and you surprise even yourself that you are in on a leg on JB so darn quickly, you just got to finish somehow. I don't think he was thinking 4. I think he was like, let me get on the board and get on the board now. So I think he's even happy with 1 at this point. And I know he wrestles for 2, but I think he'd even be happy with 1 there. So I would tend to agree
Yeah,
with you that he probably could have really focused on getting 4 there, and he does that real well usually. But man, you get JB's leg up in the air over his hips, you got to score, bub. You got to score. You got to score. You got to score.
for sure.
Let's let it run there.
Hold on. Sorry.
Hello.
Hey, Mike. Real quick, is it possible for you to move the phone away from the computer then, because it's super loud?
Yeah, it's the computer, bud.
Oh, it's the computer. Okay.
He's
Well,
getting
shit.
emails.
Bro, my texts go to my computer. I wish I could turn it off. I just don't know how. Like,
Okay.
sorry, bud.
Okay.
We're gonna cut this out.
That's all
Maybe
good.
we won't. Maybe we're just gonna
Yeah. I mean,
let it run.
whoever's editing this is gonna have a field day, so we'll we'll thank them for it.
That person is gonna be me, and guess what? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna leave this stuff in just for comic relief. All right, let it
Especially with
run,
how stressful
Elon.
this is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, that's a
He
tough
gets
spot
that.
to be in, man.
Ugh. He almost wiggled his way out of that too. Yo, let's be honest, bro.
No, for
That's
sure.
incredible. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's a tough position to be in general, though. But like
yeah,
he almost got out. I definitely give him that. Um, because a lot of people, and like here's the thing is like just a smart thing. If JB would have put his head on the inside of that leg, that cradle is there. You know what I mean? That cradle is so much easier.
yeah, yeah.
But you see, here's the thing. Dake's doing. You see this? What Dake's doing? He's and I'll wait here for this position. But and he even does. Well, he does 2 things. He's doing great here that you watch. Like he does a great job of making it so he's not placing his hand. It's so weird. He's not placing his hands on you, but he's he's making you feel like you have to touch him, like you're reaching out to him, and it's really hard to dictate if I need to shoot or do I want to pop off right now. And then even there, he was making Jordan work to get this 1 point, where a lot of people would just give it up easily. And this is big. This
This
is a big
this
situation
is
here.
incredible. This is incredible.
Mm.
I've never seen anyone do that to Jordan. ever. Now you have wrestled Kyle, and in one of the highest stakes matches that you can in this country anyway. What makes that chest strap so dangerous?
I think the biggest thing is that he's able to keep your head in there. Because that's one of the things you kind of look to do. You look to like either slide the head out, and that's get to a side and run down. I think that's a really hard thing, and I think a big thing is too is since you can't get your head out, you feel locked up and loaded. I mean, I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
remember. Trying to think, I remember in 2016, I had wrestled him and I had gotten him into that position, and he was able to just from his butt, able to lift me over the top of him. And I don't think it was easy, but like it didn't look that hard when I watched it again. I don't think it was
Hey,
that hard.
you're working harder for that.
But I mean, he does, and he has a great feel for that. Um, and honestly, right now, like I think that honestly, this is a very this match shows not only how I guess how talented Dake is, but how smart he is, how tactical he is, knowing when to give up points and how to go out there and get the points,
Okay, so
and then being able
that
to
kind
control
of
position.
well that actually brings me to my next question that I had for you. That first takedown that JB got with 51 seconds left in the first. Did Kyle, in your estimation, obviously you don't know for sure, did Kyle give that one up just to kind of burn
No,
clock? No.
no.
Okay. Okay. I think they're going to replay it here in just a second. But so you're saying that cross pick scores on him no matter the score, no matter the time of the match.
Yeah, I think so. And like, and here's the reason why. You'll watch it later on. His right leg is very
That
it's what
wasn't
he gets scored
okay.
on
I'm
a
sorry.
lot.
Mhm.
It's like
Okay.
a sweep almost like, but like
Yeah.
it's like his right leg. I'm sorry, his left leg. So just JB's right gets picked on quite a bit in this
Very well.
series, and, and so I think he's scored on there, and I think this is something that was a little different for Dake, because so he in this time, and I don't want to speak for him, so but I'm just saying from what I've seen in his
Mhm.
career, here you see him let someone get to your leg, and then he attacks. Whereas I think as the years went on, and especially in 2018, I think there was a big thing where he went to his baseline defense first, trying to sprawl on guys, making them feel the pressure, and then I'm gonna lock you up and launch you. And I think he set it up with good fundamentals and a good situation. I feel like this hands to the face thing is going to become a big thing because it happens throughout the match. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place, but
No. I love no. It has to be talked about. So, how much of that is Kyle posturing for the referee, and how much of that, and like, let's be honest, he postures to the referee quite a bit as an athlete. Whereas,
I was
yes,
about to
he
say you're
does.
asking me hard questions here.
No, I mean, I'm not. How like is it 90% posturing or is it 50% posturing?
um, Honestly, I think it depends situationally because there are a few
Mm-hmm.
times where it's like questions like, "Gosh, that's kind of roughing it," but at the same time, I'm a person that I personally disagree and I personally disagree with hands to the face rule. And I'm a person that gets poked in the eye a lot. And I've been poked in the eye, hit in the face a lot over my career. And if I don't feel, and if here's the thing, and I think this is fine, which is why I don't have an issue with Kyle. I have more of an issue with it being posturing, but like if something happens and you don't like it, I don't have as much an issue as you being willing to say something about it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is, I'd rather it be to JB, like i.e. Azerbaijan, i.e. Deron Win at the U.S. Open, like if someone does something to me that I don't like, I will handle it directly with you. I don't need a ref to tell me to dictate this for me. Now I'm not gonna go off the hinges and put my hands on somebody, but it is like
No,
hey,
no,
I'm
that's
gonna let you know like this is not okay. you
Right.
know.
Understood.
And so
I will say this is again, I don't want this to get into the hands to the face thing either. I really don't want it to go down that road and stay down that road. But
no,
I will say that okay, hands to the face is very difficult to call for any official. It's very difficult to call. And
Mhm.
I don't know if there is an easy way to remedy this situation. I
It
really
is easy.
don't.
Take the rule out. That's the easy remedy. Take the rule out because it's a terrible rule. Hands and head defense are going to be a thing. Posting on the head is always going to be a thing. Like
Right.
it's just like we talked about it. Even with inches make a difference, make differences, right? So if I post on your head and I post here to keep you from going through it, but then if I post up here, like I slip right
Mhm.
underneath that. It's just I just see it as this has to be something where we suck it up. And like I said, and like I'm not trying to say that I don't think that some cases where people are taking advantage of like, oh, I can hit you in the face, I'm gonna hit you in the face. Like, but I am saying like most of the time, majority of the time, that's never really been the thing. Like I've hardly throughout my career, I've hardly seen a full out brawl or anything really happen because someone got smacked in the face. And
No,
that's
I
just for my
hear
career.
you. I
So
think, yeah, you're probably right. We could probably do away with it altogether, but I just don't want anyone to get like. I do want to keep the safety of the athletes in everyone's mind too. I don't, but then again, I don't know how many guys are losing their vision because of hands to the face. So it's probably more of an issue in MMA than it is in wrestling. And but anyway, I think that's kind of that. Now we did just see the end of the match. And again, you want to talk about tactical? Kyle Dake is
yeah, so I think
probably one. Oof, tactical dudes out.
he is definitely one of those tactical guys out there. And I think that so right now in this match, and I'm only going to speak for, and I'm going to kind of go into an adjustments that I saw in this match. So,
Oh, I'm so happy.
so, so in this match, we saw, you know, Kyle Dake able to get to a single leg and finish strong on a single leg, really, really well. You got two out of it. So on top of that as well, we saw JB also get on a single leg on Kyle's left leg. And I think also on top of that, we saw JB also take a single leg to the left leg, to Kyle's right leg, and get forward from there. Right, Kyle goes to the chest
Yeah.
lock, and JB gets tossed. And I think one of the biggest adjustments you're going to see going into these next two matches, especially I'm going to say this with JB, because the reason he got caught in that position is because he stopped running his feet on the sweep single. He got to the leg and then pulled in, and that allowed Dake to come and crunch in. Because if you watch, Kyle Dake is actually a little bit of a step behind on most of these single leg shots. Um,
I
and
agree with
so
that. Yeah.
and so I think that's a big thing. And I also think that also on top of that, Kyle Dake actually starts doing a really good job as far as how do I say, not only with his hand position and controlling the tie, because I believe he using that, um, and I'm gonna say using the moments where JB seemed to take a break, especially in the beginning of the second match you're gonna see here, that that is something that got him up to be up 3-0 in that second match. And I don't want to talk towards it yet because we're gonna see some more, but
No,
that was
I
a huge
know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, let's start running the tape there. Match 2, Elon. Golly. Okay, let me ask you something.
Hmm.
As we start this thing, where were you, right, in this arena? Were you watching
So
this,
I'm
or because it's?
Oh no, I'm not watching. But Mike
I didn't
Ironman
think
came
so.
back to tell me, yeah, Mike. Well, if anything, so this might sound bad, but JB losing the first match to Dake made me feel a lot more comfortable. Where I was I'm like I had just lost. You know what I mean? So it's like so even the best can lose, and also on top of that, it's like we're gonna have to fight. So I don't know why, but that made me feel a little comfortable. It's just like, hey, we're just here to battle. We're all human, and so why
Yeah.
not just go out here and do our thing?
Let me ask you this
And
then: Did you ever think that, like, okay, this was the changing of the guard?
um, honestly, no. Just because um, and I think it's a bias thing. You know, I don't know if it's biased, but it's like I've always been JB's been somebody that's inspired my career. Has been a great mentor um, to me and to others. Um,
Mhm.
and so I think at this point in time, like I was a huge JB fan, but also at the same time, I say that with a grain of salt because I've also been quoted saying that one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Kyle Dake,
Yeah.
and I love watching his adjustments. I love watching his style, his ability to his. I mean, the guy's just got a great wrestling mind, and so like I've been quoted saying that he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, going where no one's gone before, doing things uniquely, doing his own thing, and I'm all fine with that. So for me to say that and still say like I still think JB was the guy, like it's still conflicting, but at the same time, like I just at this time though I did not think that
What?
this was JB's time.
Okay.
So, but if you watch
This
this
is,
match, and I think,
this might be the toughest question Oh my goodness, this is so good.
but see how
That's
he
so
ran his
good.
feet. If you go back, he
Ran
ran
it.
his feet this time because you watched Kyle try to come over top. He ran his feet to finish that single leg, and it's kind of like a single, like a straight on single. Like it kind of swoops, but once he goes straight on, so watch him run his feet. Kyle's trying to come back, like head pinch, come over the top, then, and he still runs his feet, run his feet. All right, gets it shelved up. And here's the thing, though, Van. He doesn't. He this is. I think this
I've
is
never seen.
awesome.
I've never seen anything like it. Elon, can you
Oh
go?
god.
Can you go? Holy smokes!
I
Right there. Right
don't.
there's fine.
I don't know how. I don't know how. Like I can't decide if it's because I think it's a mixture of Kyle's just intuitiveness, knowing what he's capable of, and a mixture of also JB kind of getting overzealous and just trying to force something. Like I
Yes,
don't know. I don't know which one it is because
but I think
I see
it's
both.
definitely a combination. But how about this? How about okay? Let's talk. Let's throw. You can go ahead and let it run there along. Let's. You can throw away. You can completely throw away the fact that that was probably one of the most um, uh, 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 athletically impressive motions that I've ever seen on a wrestling mat, especially when it comes to like a step out. Okay, forget about that. How about how intelligent he was and how aware he was to look and watch JB's face hit the mat before he stepped out, and
Right.
then tell the referee, his face stepped out, not my foot, not his face. JB. Like I watched it like 100 times. That was incredible. That's the CrossFit
Mhm.
I was talking. Holy
You got to go back. I've
yeah,
got
we
to go
got to
back.
go back. Golly. Right here, I can remember distinctly going, this is it. This is it. This, like, I go, wow, what's life going to be like if JB loses? Because we just don't see it. Not in this country.
Right.
We just don't see it. And
Yeah, but I mean, like
then,
that was a, but I think that was a prime example of like JB was kind of resting in that tie. If you go back and you watch it, like, and this is something that all of us as athletes have tried to discourage. This is a tie to which JB is not looking to improve anywhere. Or he hasn't. And like this is something that as elite athletes we try to erase this. Why are we getting in these pointless positions? You know? And so I think like this is a break right now. You know what I mean? Like that's what I see. You both are tied up ear to ear. And the fact is too that Kyle Dake, and this is a testament to how good he is, can score from ear to ear. Do you know how hard it is to score from it? You know how hard I shouldn't ask. You know how hard it is to score when you're ear to ear with somebody. It's a lot different from forehead to forehead. There's not that much space. And I think for him to recognize that this is a position where I know where I can go and he's not really looking to go anywhere from here, so I can pop off an attack and do it and do it really nice and clean.
well,
I mean,
that's
that's as
okay.
good a takedown you're ever going to get.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, you can let it run along. It's not just that it's ear to ear. It's not just that it's cross grain. It's that it's that clean, ear to ear and cross grain. Like
Yeah.
like was a bang bang boom takedown. If you do get to a leg from an ear to ear position, generally you got to struggle. It's a 12-second process. He just scored him best in the world. By the way, JB won it this year, best in the world. Okay, best in the world in a 1-second attack off an ear to ear takedown. Or off an ear-to-ear tie. Yeah, you're right. It's bananas how good these guys are. Both of them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. God,
oh yeah, and I think at this point, and I'll ask you something because I'll ask at this point, I know you said you were at the takedown, I thinking it's going to be a change. Second period's coming up. What are you thinking? How are you playing this out in your head? What's going to happen?
So to me, I know how good Dake is at protecting a lead. I thought he would really slow the pace. I thought that position right there, I call it his frog position. It looks like he's kind of in a square stance, up down, real low, hand on the mat. I was like, wow,
sumo squat. Yeah,
he's gonna go full Dake frog mode, and that'll be that. So yeah, I really, but then JB I think he baited him into wrestling harder by just beating on his head. Head. Look at those snaps are for real, dude. Those snaps they're not to an angle. He's not being slick JB. He's trying to beat him up and goat him into a fist fight right now. And it's working.
For sure. Well, I think two things though, because I've watched this period specifically over this time.
Amazing.
So
one of the best 3 minutes of wrestling I've seen almost ever. Go ahead. Sorry.
For sure. But I watched this period, and one thing that Dake never did, and I think this would have changed everything. He never made Jordan feel threatened until he never. And I'm not saying he should have attacked but he never.
No,
not even a fake.
No.
You have to make him. You have to make this guy think twice. And on top of that, with how clean he's been on him for the last two matches, I should say, because you're a minute. I would say a minute 19 is when this starts getting really interesting. Minute 19 when everything starts happening. Minute 19 left. You've been getting on him clean. We've already talked about how amazing the cross grain shot ear to ear was for the 1 second on the best in the world, and you don't even threaten him with just a little fake, a little slap, And so what happens is you give someone enough times, especially like JB, you give someone enough chances to get to your legs. Especially you allow me to fire with no repercussion, no worry of a reattack, no worry of you faking or anything. I'm eventually going to get you. I'm eventually going to take it, get at least one. So
it's hard to argue that. It really is. And I think
you see his right there. He didn't move that right leg.
Yeah. Hey, so but if you look, let's watch that one more time. Stop.
He thought it was a double coming.
Right. Yes.
He thought it was a double leg.
Right. So, but on the first one or two times he got to a single leg and got it up in the air, he allowed Kyle's athleticism to come into play. He goes finish quicker on this one, and he pops his head to the outside, goes head kill, and he doesn't because if we're going to be completely honest, I don't know that there's a human at 163 pounds at 74K that can go athlete for athlete with either one of these guys except the other one, right? Sidikov is a great tactician. He is incredibly intelligent. Maybe Chimizo is as good of an athlete, but there aren't many. There are not so. If you're talking pure athletic ability, it's Kyle Dake and it's Jordan Burroughs, and I'm telling you, I don't see many people as good.
No, I tend to agree. It's very hard because you watch through the field. There are very rarely that I ever see anyone else that I watch other than these two, and like you said, Chimizo, even Sudakov. I've seen Sudakov some film. I've seen some films of him doing some amazing things, but like you said, more of a
No,
tactician, like a technique.
there's no.
But
Yeah.
but like so I would say those four guys
Yeah.
like do things that make you go whoa,
Yeah.
or to be like or make you think like I can't do that. I don't know how does he do that? Like where did that come from? So I'd agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Unreal. All right, let's let it run here along. Watch him cut this back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
now that's 2-2 they called there. That is tricky. It looked like one motion. I'm sure, like if you slow it down, and don't even bother, Elon. I want to keep this moving here because it was probably the right call, but it's really tough to see at that point.
I think it was I think it was the right call, but it is tough because it does definitely
That's
looks
what we're
like
talking about. That's the one right there, right?
yeah.
Hey,
So
that's
this is
that's what we're talking about. All right. Hey, yo,
this
can
is
you do me a favor? Can
huh.
you, Elon? Can you get JB's left foot just as it hits out of bounds? I know it's really difficult with this stuff, or it's his right foot. I'm sorry.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
wait for the review because the review will go slower. The review will go slower
Oh,
if
okay.
you catch it then. That's where I got that.
Okay. So explain what you were explaining to me earlier.
So in this situation, I gotta get my toothpick back. In this situation, all right, you guys are making Dr. Cox come out. All right, in this
All right.
situation, there's a lot going on, right? There's a high motion, high stakes. Dake's down by takedown. He needs a takedown. He goes after. He goes and gets it. And so if you watch here, look at this foot. This foot, and if you can just barely get it to go forward a little bit more, that toe hits out, and it's just for me when I watch it, and even if you keep letting it play a little bit, because he'll come back up on his. It's just like I can't. And now watching is like there. I think they almost thought he stepped out there, and I think that's really hard to say because I'm like, but also at the same time, like that might be the case where it's like because people have to understand the whole step out rule isn't one whole foot. It's not like that's I don't like that saying that explanation because it makes it seem like
Because I was under the impression that the entire foot has to go out of bounds in order for it to be called a step out.
right, but it's just like I think people sometimes get confused because they think an entire foot means like a whole flat foot, right? And it's like no, that's not the case.
No, no, it's a cylinder to the sky.
Yeah, so it's like if I step out and I'm on my toes just because my heel doesn't touch doesn't mean
Right.
doesn't mean that I'm not out of bounds. Right? So I want that to be the case. So here, all JB needs is his toe to be out of bounds, and for his ankle and or foot to be up off the ground, and that's a step out. So there's that, and like granted, I'm willing to admit because we've talked about it. I'm like I don't know, but I could see an argument for where it's like he might just be out of bounds. And even if we rewind it a little bit, like that one he's getting pulled back in. If we rewind a little bit, he looks out of bounds and it looks like his foot and ankle are off the mat. But then if you were to go forward, there's another issue. I don't even want to say an issue because it's either that was a step out and that's why they didn't give Dake two. And I'm gonna say it's a controversial two because I understood where CP was coming from in this video, where it's like that's not two when the ref holds up the hand. So it's either he stepped out here and you're not going to award him two, in my opinion. This is my opinion, or the ref blew it dead before he let the motion actually end.
Okay. I would agree with the things that you just said. I don't think it was a step out. I don't think his whole foot is outside of the cylinder. Okay. That said,
honestly, I don't either. I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me from that.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't think it's a takedown because, like, if you and I hate doing this because it become now you admit that wrestling on the edge is situational. But if you take that specific action and move it 13, 14 feet towards the center of the mat, that's not a takedown. Like, there's no way that's a takedown. But because because the action started in bounds, ended out of bounds, and close to the end of the mat, not the end of the circle, okay, they have a tendency to play that line too, which is weird, but okay. Now, all of a sudden, it's situational. And that's the thing, and this goes back to the initial conversation that you and I had. A computer program in that situation, I don't think calls it 2 points. I really don't, because a computer algorithm will look at the specific situation as, okay, would this be a takedown, whether it be here or there or there or there or there, wherever. I think the algorithm spits out 1 point. So I don't know.
And here's the thing. I can agree, but here's the thing though. I can agree with that. Like, I can agree with that being 1 point. And even when it got called 1 point, I agreed with it. I just didn't understand why. You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I am not disputing. I'm not trying to say that, oh, it was 2 or not. What I'm saying is I don't understand why. I understand why it's not 2. Like, I'm just trying to, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to figure out why either why it was 1 or why you took away 2. Because the reason I have to ask that is because you did award 2 initially.
Yeah, he did.
They did.
Because
dude.
That's why I think, and these are the best officials in the world. They really are. Zach's great.
Yeah.
He's not good. He's great. Okay?
Right.
Wrapped up in the situation. And you want to almost, so by holding up 2 points, whether he would ever admit this, and he never would, whether any official would admit this or not, it's simply going to be true because I've talked to enough officials where I know it's true. They get excited about the situation. They're excited. They just chuck up something. It's very hard to be impartial. And that's why I think we're going to lean towards having this, on a program somewhere. Go ahead, Alon, let it run.
Do you think that this was a situation that maybe they should have looked at themselves instead of someone having to throw a brick?
Oh yeah.
Like,
for sure they should have looked at it. For sure they should have looked at it. That's not a takedown in the center of the mat, J'den Cox. It's just not.
Well, it's not. Like I said, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to understand why they. If you call it 2, and what makes it 2, like you said, why did you not make it? Like, is it like? And it could just be, well, since it wasn't 2, it was obviously 1, and that could be the case, right? But if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, you're looking at it right then and there. Like, he has a good spot on what's going on in that situation. It's not like he's across the mat. So then why was it, you know what I mean? So that just brings up a lot of questions. So then why was it 1? Like, why was it because it was just a push out then? Was it because the foot possibly kind of went out earlier? Was it because you blew the whistle and
watch his right knee go down? There's a case to be made for that being 0, that being grounded. So I don't know. And maybe I'm drawing at straws there a little bit, but look, not out.
Oh, wait.
Knee down.
Yeah, that was a perfect shot. Go back. Please go back. Show this again. Go. That foot's out.
Oh. I don't know if it's out.
That foot is out. What do you mean? You can see the line of the circle. That foot is out.
No, it has to be the whole foot. I'm saying, do you think that his shoelace You think his shoelaces are out of bounds right now?
Your shoelaces aren't allowed to be out of your shoe, so no, I don't.
No, I'm talking about. Like, I know that we're splitting hairs right here, J'den. I understand that we're splitting hairs right here. Okay? But I'm telling you that there is 4 inches, okay, between the sole of your shoe and the shoelaces on the top of your foot. I think the sole of his shoe is out. I don't think that his shoelaces are out. How about that?
Oh, okay. Okay, but you gotta admit this photo. You gotta admit this photo is pretty good. Like it's an art. It's like gosh. All right. Okay. Like I can see the argument for either way for sure. I definitely can. I'm not gonna dispute that. But I'm just saying, from where I'm seeing him, like that looks like he's out of bounds to me. It doesn't matter. Like I don't know, the grand scheme, it doesn't matter. But that's all. That's all I'm saying. And just imagine if Jake could have caught that ankle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different.
Gosh. And then he has. So I think in this situation, he has to get a takedown.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and here's why I say this. And I'm gonna say this. I think at times, and I don't know why, but like this Dake shows up a little earlier and attacks a little more. I think scores a lot more points in the match.
I agree. It's hard to argue that.
Right.
However, this is incredible, by the way. The fact that he didn't turn on this is unbelievable to me. I have no
idea. On that leg.
By the way, Kyle Dake scores on, dare I say, everyone in the world with that particular crotch lock, okay? Except Jordan Burroughs with 10 seconds left. Because that's 10 seconds is a long time. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but 10 seconds is a long time to hold on to a leg and not get crotch locked by anyone, let alone one of the best defensive wrestlers in the world. My goodness.
Especially with stakes like this. Like with stakes like this, 10 seconds feels like years. Like it feels like it's taken forever for that clock to run out. You know? But I just still, man, is this if he would have pushed it a little bit and not like all at once, but in spurts to make that, even if he wasn't gonna score, let's just say he wouldn't have scored any more points. I think just doing a little bit make Jordan feel that. And I'm not gonna say, but like I'm just saying, using my common sense, all around knowledge, that like you make him question his attack rate to come at you, he might not be coming at you as hard. He might have to hold back a little bit.
All right, fine. I'll give you that if you answer me this question.
Depends on the question.
All right. Is that Kyle's ego coming into play? Nobody can score on me. I got this in the bag.
I don't know. No. If his ego were to come out on anything, it would not be out on that. Because that's just pure out confidence. That's knowing positions. That's I don't think that's ego or anything. And I believe that he had a game plan, and he executed, and it just didn't work out. But I think at this time, like Kyle was too. I think it was because it's not ego. I think he was too okay with letting Jordan get to his legs too many times. You know, I think that also at the same time it gets hard to do, especially in these grinding matches. You have to understand, in these grinding matches, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over. It's very repetitive, whether it's down blocking, whether it's sprawling, whether it's coming back in for an inside tie. You're doing those things over and over. The one time you decide not to do those things, it will cost you, and it will, and people will take advantage of that. And I think that's just something that happens, you know?
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's let it run there along. Match 3 coming at you. By the way, match 2 is so much better than match 3. It really is. Like, it's just, match 2 is probably one of the best wrestling matches I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years. So, like, not that this one's going to be a letdown for people watching this at home, but if you could have scripted this, right, like this was a movie, you would switch match 2 and match 3 for sure, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think that'd be the case. Because yeah, that would have been. Honestly, it would have made more sense for it to be match 3. You have one guy come out kind of pretty much because I say Dake pretty much dominated the first match.
I agree.
And then you know, and then you have this
JB.
match where JB pretty much dominates it. See that right leg?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. He gets to that.
So now, let me ask you this. Do you think that Kyle didn't open up in match 2 because he felt that type of reattack coming? Do you think that that's a possibility?
It could have been, but I just think that instead of it doesn't have to be an attack. He didn't even fake, you know.
No, I hear you.
Like he didn't make the only thing he tried to do was throw underhooks, you know. But he didn't make Jordan feel like he shouldn't. He didn't make Jordan feel like he shouldn't or question shooting. He made it so it's just like I'm just gonna not back up, but I'm just gonna play defense and hold up in my fort instead of being like, you know what, maybe I should. I compared it to like almost like you have a castle and you have all these cannons lined up, right? And you have an army out there of a massive army out there in the field, and they're coming at you, and they're expecting, the cannons, but the cannons never come. And so there's no archers, no nothing. So they're like, we're just going to send as many people as we can to try and go and break this thing down, And just
eventually,
you might want to.
They're going.
Yeah, like you might want to shoot, cannonball out there or get some archers or something. Let them know, hey, this ain't a game. Like, I'm here. You don't even have to shoot it. You just gotta have it loaded. Yeah, just keep them at bay. But already, and I think JB's biggest adjustment here is, I think Kyle at this point is so stuck on the double leg, because if you watch his defenses to these shots, he's very much trying to defend both legs, even though JB's only going to one side. And so he's only going to one side, or he's only going to a single leg. So he's able to get to this leg a lot easier, because now it's his whole body versus one arm. And he's actually really going around it rather than through it, which is a testament to his evolution in the sport, because we all know JB as Blast Double King. I'm gonna run through your face, run through your chest, run through your ancestors, and I'm gonna make sure that you feel every bit of this double leg. So it just shows the evolution to him. It's true, but it's just that's what he does. But
I'm gonna run through your grandma. That's true.
He's so
is a different man because of that double leg. He just is. That's the best thing I've ever heard. That's a great. I gotta write it down. Your ancestors. All right. Where were we? 4-0 JB. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know how much back from that, J'den. I really don't, brother.
But
4-0.
But you see, yeah,
for
but
anybody.
You see he's made so many adjustments. Like he's doing really, really good here.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's got full control.
Yeah. I agree. And this is a conversation that he and I had. It was after he lost to Sidikoff last year.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to get back to the guy that wrestles with elite. He's like, I have to, because, you just can't, because let's be honest, right? When he won in 2017, he came back in every match, right? Like he was down in every single match, and he pulled it out of his behind every single match. Now, there's just so many times you can flirt with disaster like that, and it came back to bite him twice against Sidakov.
Right.
So it's like, he made it a very, very distinct point of saying, I know what I need to do. I need to be this guy, the guy that's up by 4, not 1, not 2, not by criteria. He's up by 4. And now he can go into like a shutdown type of, prevent defense type of thing.
Right.
Where because let's be honest, between his motion and his ability to hand fight, good luck.
For sure. For sure.
I mean,
well, I think that
many people want him.
Yeah, but I think also like I think this is something, and like you have to understand. I'm saying this, and I know this is gonna I'm saying this with the utmost respect, but I also think that the same way that I said that Dake has this issue with sometimes playing out defense and not making somebody feel iffy about that. I think that's also something that JB can work on as well. Because if you watch, especially against Sudakov in the last 2 years, in the last however many seconds, and really for that last couple minute of that period, Sudakov is going untested. He's going untested. He's not feeling like I have to question it. And on top of that, he kind of taps into. I would say he taps into his inner JB. Like he's like, I just need to get a point. Like that's all I need to do. I'm going to push and drive.
But that's a very different match at 4-0 as opposed to 4-2 or 4-1.
4-3
or
4-1. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
I agree. I agree.
JB with a 4-point lead in the second period. Nobody's beating him. Nobody. You can't convince me that anyone in the world can beat him. I just, and maybe I'm playing favorites now, right? Because, you're not going to find a bigger Jordan Burroughs fan than me. And that's not to say that I dislike Kyle, but I just think as a human being, we need to recognize that he's probably one of the most superior humans that we've ever seen. And we've been so blessed to have him in our sport that it's hard to envision a time without him. So, but you're telling me I just don't see anybody beating him with a 4-point lead in the second period. I just don't see it.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I don't see it either. I don't see it. My thing is, in my opinion, if it were me, and I think I've even shown this in just this past year at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was up 4-0 against Karimi this past year, but my fakes didn't stop. My hand fight didn't stop. Obviously hand fight doesn't stop. But I was still very much the aggressor in that match, and I was actually. I don't know why he never really attacked, but my point is, I think that 4-0 or not, because I've been somebody that's been up by points and then just shut down and lost. I think that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, up 4-0 is too much time for an elite athlete. If we're going to commend Dake, Chamizo, Sudakov, JB, we would agree. You say, I don't think anyone beats him being up 4-0 with 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. But it's if you're going to commend them so much for being athletes, I'm also going to say that 3 to 2 minutes is enough time for those guys, each one of those guys, to get 2 takedowns if they need to.
Yeah. Look, I hear you.
It's too early. It's too early to shut down.
You're not wrong. And I guess it goes along with you give any guy really enough shots, they're going to take advantage and they're going to score. So no, I would tend to agree. You're not wrong. But I just, if I would bet my house on it though.
You would bet your house. You would bet your house on it?
Yeah.
I think it's just too risky.
I would. I'm not just that's not JB against anyone in the world. Anyone in the world, it's 74K. Up by 4 in the second period. I would bet 100%.
How much time in the second period? 3 minutes? 3 minutes? Go.
Period. In the second period, 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm deadly serious. I'm deadly serious.
I'll give I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I don't know if I could. It's just like that's so hard. That's so hard.
I know.
And it's not out of disrespect for JB, because it's not me saying JB's not great. He's amazing, great. Like I take advice from this guy from any, like I would talk to this man about anything, everything. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, like, that is really hard for me to do, because it's not like he's wrestling nobodies. Like it's like oh gosh. That's what who is he wrestling? Who is he wrestling? Is it these?
I'm talking Sidikov. I'm talking Shabana. I'm talking, well, Shabanaw's up at 86, but I'm talking Sidikov. I'm talking Chimizo. I'm talking anybody. Who's the Turk? He's pretty good too. Demirtas. Any of them. Up by 4, second period. I'd bet the house on. Yeah, there's no question. All right, 2 questions.
I'll give it to you.
Who wins in 2021?
I knew this was gonna happen. It's like I'm not even surprised. Like, I just knew it. See, this is something I've thought about, and gosh, it's hard. It's really hard, because here's why it's hard for me to answer that, because I'm watching someone in JB who I don't think has diminished and has been the top guy, and not only in our country, but one of the top guys in the world for years. And so, and like, I think our country kind of gets it twisted sometimes, because they always say, like, well, you took third and not first. And like, I still don't think they understand, like, how hard it is to take third at the World Championships, especially when you have Sidikov and Chimizo at your weight class. And you have to go through both of those guys. So, and also on top of that, like, did you see, I don't know if anyone watched, but to see the battles that JB went through at the World Championships was amazing. Like, just like, if you've never gone and watched a JB match, go watch his matches at the World Championships of 2019. Will blow you away. Okay, I watched those matches in person. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard, because in my eyes, when I watch, I'm like, he hasn't diminished, and if anything, he's evolved and he's gotten better, and he's different. It's just not the same that we've seen before. But at the same time, it's like I'm watching Dake, and it's someone that you can visually easily see the changes that have happened in his career, in his style, in his wrestling. You can see the big moves. You can see the more points scored. You can see more activity. And honestly, not that he ever struggled with confidence, but you can see more confidence in him, in his wrestling. And I think that for me is why it's hard for me to answer that, man. It's hard.
Okay.
Because how do I say that Kyle Dake? Because if we're agreeing, the score right now for their wrestling is 7-1, right? Jordan's won 7, Kyle's won 1. And to me, none of that really matters, except for the fact it's just like, I don't know. Because I don't know how them both moving up, because I think they both, like I said, they both have gotten better. Where do they match up? Because that's what it's going to come down to, who's better and who can execute it on each other. And also, I want to say this too. This is something I haven't seen. Like, when you talk about this match, nobody has seen this. Like, as of late, no one's seen this and at least I can speak for myself for sure. Like, in a practice room, at a national team camp, like, we haven't seen this, so like, we don't know. Like, we just, but like, so we'll see.
I hear you. And you know what's funny, man? Interesting. You mentioned Kyle's confidence, and there is this stoic confidence that I see in him right now that I don't remember seeing in anyone ever. Like he is. It's not like he thinks he's going to win. He already has in his head. Like that. That's true. He already has won an Olympic gold medal in his head. I'm not kidding. Like I know when people are posturing and kind of just saying it for lip service and just saying it for the camera or just saying it for me because they want me to believe it. He believes it. He genuinely believes it, and it's an interesting thing to see that in an athlete. So I don't know. I don't really. I got to be honest with you. Whoever we send to the Olympics in 2021 at 74K, I think we're in good shape. How about that? I think we're in good shape.
I'll take it one step further. I say this. My prediction is whoever wins at 74 kilos, I believe is going to win the Olympics in 2021. Like that's just how I feel about both guys. I mean, in like, I think they both have something to prove.
Yeah.
And they're hungry and they're willing to do what it takes to prove it. So that's where I stand on it. I think that's the case. About Kyle's confidence though, like because he's always been, like I said, he's always been a confident person. He's never had a problem with confidence. And I think we're all vastly different on how we portray our confidence or how we get to where we are as athletes or belief, you know. And so it's not surprising to me though that like you say like in his mind he's already won a gold medal. You know, it's not shocking at all, and it's something that I guess how do I say like just being on the mat with him and wrestling him in 2016 and then being on some teams with him like and seeing this because I don't like you said it wasn't always like that, like it wasn't. It's very much a recent thing. Yeah, like it's and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure because like we're like I said, like we're not buddy like so I don't like text him, hey man, like what are you doing for your mentality? So but like he definitely has something different going on with him. Whether it's gonna help or not, I mean we're gonna see. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see that because we got somebody who thinks that he's already won versus someone who, you know, who is and believes themselves as well. I think because I think JP thinks the same way. Like I am the champ. I am the man. I am the guy, and no one's been able to really tell him different for the last couple of years. You know. Yeah. So it's just like what do you mean? Yeah, for the last decade, right? So it's like, you know, no one's been able to tell him different, and so like that to me, I mean, people don't understand how great, and I'm a person, and this is something that's huge because I'm a person that I dumb everything down, right? Like I'm a person that's like, you know, it's not that big a deal. Oh, just show up, let's go. Oh, Olympic trials, man, I'll just show up and let's do what we gotta do. You know, oh, is this like I dumb things down. So for me to say that people don't understand everything that's going into this match, they don't understand like the mentalities. This match to me has the chance to be one of the greatest matches, one of the greatest series of all time. I should say matchups, series of all time. Period. The end. And my main goal, my main hope is that it delivers. You know, that's it for me because we win. Like fans, we win. We get to watch it. I'm gonna be a fan on that day. I wrestle and I will represent this team whatever which way. You know, I'm gonna fight to make my team and I'm gonna do my thing. But as soon as these two step on the mat and I'm able to step away from competition, as soon as these two step on the mat, I'm gonna be a fan just like everybody else. And yeah, I'm gonna be grabbing my popcorn and chilling in to watch this. So this is gonna be pretty awesome.
All right, J'den, let's do this again. What do you think? This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm down, man. I love what. I actually there was a match. There were matches that I wanted to go over.
Hey, text.
I'll
We'll get it
text you
done.
about it.
All right,
So
J'den, thank you so much, brother.
no problem. You have a good one.
Thank you. Later.